to those new music. That's how it sounded. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Jimmy Palumbo Show. That's right, show number 168. Well, good evening, everybody. Once again, another fine start to the Jimmy Palumbo Show. One thing, first of all, I don't think people realize, and it's no mock on Dave or me. We pretty much do this show live. We do some editing if something really goes wrong, but we go live. So once he hits that button, we're live. And sometimes, live radio or live podcasting, a motorcycle goes ripping by Dave's house.
Even worse. It was like one of those 92 Civics with the loud exhaust for no reason whatsoever.
And I'm like, oh, Dave came up with a new sound for the opening thing. And I realized he was scared because it looked like it was in your living room there. Yeah. But this is the Jimmy Palumbo Show. And this is show number 168. Number one, JT Turner. Number one, Dylan Batansis here at Shea. Stephen Diddy drove off the road with JT Turner. If you know who that guy is, that's classic. And we're doing show number 168. I, of course, are coming from downtown Mahway in the Average Dining Room Studios here at Shea. Of course, in the background, the Potbellies, my team, getting new jerseys. And what number do they give me? 706 here at Shea. And, of course, behind the glass, your friend and mine, Dave Sturcio, coming from the Cat Studios in Matawan, New Jersey. The Cat will make his guest appearance any minute. Also, we're going to call that studio the Jug, as the Jug is prominently in the background there.
Whoops.
So, difference between Dave's in shape. He drinks water. I'm having coffee.
Yeah. Listen.
I'll even take a sip. And, Dave, welcome to the show. What's going on,
What's going on, Jimmy? Long weekend, long tragic weekend if you're a hockey fan. That's over now. So I flipped the script real quick to the greatest baseball team in the league right now, the New York Yankees.
And speaking of New York Yankees, the card today is one of the greatest Yankees of all time. That's right. He is the 1988 batting 250, playing third base, your friend and mine, Luis Aguayo, which even his family doesn't know he played baseball at this point. Of course, the beginning of the show, you know what we do? We pick a card. I'm actually running a little low. I may have to talk to Gooch about getting me some cards. This guy played predominantly with the Phillies. Again, I love doing this for this guy alone. This is why. Because he played 10 years, okay? Batted 236, had 260 hits. Jeter got that in like 1 year. 37 home runs, over 100 RBIs. He played with the Phillies, the Yankees, and Cleveland. He was traded. He was traded for a guy who was in the Yankees organization who finished with an ERA of 16.20. The Yankees got him for a song. His best year, I guess, was 1985. He batted 279. One postseason, no at-bats, pinch runner. Those are stats I love. Look, I made the World Series. He managed the Red Sox organization, one of their minor leagues, for a couple of years. But he also was the 2008 Mets third base coach. So there'll be some Mets fans who remember him. I used to be great at knowing all the coaches, but I got to be honest with you. If I was on a trivia show and someone said, name the last 4-year Yankee coaches, I'd be like, I don't know. Really, Willie Randolph? I'd be horrible. But yes, Luis Aguayo from Puerto Rico. Again, like I said, 1 year with the Yanks, 10 years in the league, though. Again, I tried to Google him, and you get nothing. Like, he's not dead.
No, you just get all of his cousins, all of his family members.
I even Googled news, and all the news are like his baseball card worth, and they're all worth 15 cents. So if you had every one of
cost more to print them at this point,
right? So, but it seemed actually he'd be a player now that I would love as a manager because you can play third, short, second base. And, you need...
So basically DJ LeMahieu.
Right. And most of the time he played third, but he also played short and second. And I think baseball got away from that for a while. And now it seems like they're going back. You need a guy, if you're a manager, what a great thing. Here's the rule. When you play if you play more than one position, odds are your batting average is below 230. Because that's why you're in the league. Otherwise, it's like, no, I'm batting 290.
Defensive catcher.
Clubhouse guy, defensive catcher. So that's what it is. Luis Aguayo. Am I saying it right? Aguayo. Aguayo or Aguayo? I don't know. I don't remember.
Tell you.
But 1988, whatever.
Being that you usually do these the cards at the start of the show to kind of, I guess, dedicate the show, like it's the Luis Aguino show or whatever. You do that. I don't have a card this week specifically because I knew that's the direction in which we go and we talk about these players. So my digital card, my card in my mind right now is for Larry Allen. One of the greatest guards to ever play the game. Rest in peace. 52 years old, passes away on his vacation with his family. It's just a mess. If you're a Dallas Cowboy fan, you obviously watched him. If you're a non-Dallas Cowboy fan, if you're a hater, you knew you couldn't get through him. So Larry Allen's my guy.
He was what I remember about. I mean, obviously he was a Cowboy, so he was always playing on the good Cowboys. Matter of fact, his career's he might have played 1 year with the shitty Cowboys.
He's the only Hall of Famer from that entire wall of Dallas.
Yeah, he what always blew me away about him, and I believe John Madden was a huge fan of him because he was huge, but he wasn't a fat bastard. He could move. So he to me, I think Larry Allen's size, weight, agility, and speed are really the basis of what you should judge like a college offensive lineman. In other words, okay, you get these guys in college. Ever see some of these guys? They're like 700 pounds. And that's effective in many ways. Don't get me wrong. But after a while, a quick guy can make a move, spin around them. Or you get these guys.
There's a viral clip that's going around now. Aikman drops back to pass. The ball gets batted at the line and picked off by a linebacker who starts sprinting down the sidelines. And who's the last guy to just come out of the picture is Larry Allen, tracks him down the entire time and shoves him out of bounds. And they don't even talk about the interception anymore. They start talking on commentary like, how the hell did Larry Allen get down there?
Yeah, some linemen now, I'm a Rutgers fan. We get guys like this all the time. They're good linemen, but they're not big enough. So when they're going up against Ohio State, Rutgers lineman is technically better, but he's 70, 80 pounds lighter. And let me tell you something, in the fourth quarter, when you got guys like Larry Allen just breathing on you, I don't care what anybody says. It's like lifting weights. The first couple of reps, you feel great. All of a sudden,
Speaking of weights, like when I'm on a good day, at the age of 38 right now, I can put up 225, maybe like 15 times without really thinking my chest is about to tear out of my whole body, right? Larry Allen, during the Pro Bowl, I think it was 1994, he put up 225 pounds 40 times.
That's unbelievable.
40.
That's unbelievable.
You don't. There's no teaching that.
So that's what I'm saying.
Is brute strength.
I hope. I don't know. I'm assuming some kind of heart thing. I assume when you drop
with a guy his size, you would assume.
And I don't. This is a message to all my NFL players that are listening to the Jimmy Palumbo Show. Like I know you got to be at a certain weight, and you see some guys sometimes they really trim down after they retire. Other guys become, I don't know how big he was at the end, or maybe he just, you're an athlete. I don't know. Bottom line is your family in Mexico. Oh, God, what a nightmare. And 52, I mean, shit, I'm 59 now. Larry Allen, one of the greatest linemen of all time. I guess you could make that argument. Mm-hmm. I don't know enough about offensive linemen, but I remember him. Because the Giants weren't good when the Cowboys were really good there. And I'm willing to bet, again, footballreference.com. I don't think a Giant ever got around him. So while no Giant was getting around Larry Allen, nobody was also covering one of their tight ends.
Okay, Novacek or something like that.
Yeah, so Novacek was open on every play, and nobody was getting around Larry Allen. So that's it. R.I.P. Larry Allen. I agree. Good call on that. All right, which brings us to Patreon, Patreon.com. We're mired in a slump. We cannot get a what are you drinking now?
Diet Snapple. Is that okay with you, Jimmy?
Just,
I get parched. We're not sponsored by Diet Snapple, but that's what I'm drinking.
It went from like manly water, Dave's drinking water out of the big jug, to all of a sudden you're drinking this little.
We're getting low, getting a little low.
You got all spit in there. Dave Stern Show is not. Listen, it's hydrating day here at the stadium. All fans 18 and over, come on out. As Dave Stern Show is drinking shitty Snapple.
You don't understand. Like the last couple nights, no, maybe even last week or so, I get woken up in the middle of the night to a Charlie horse or something like that, where I'm like, oh my God. And I'm like,
it's the worst.
My wife thinks I'm having a heart attack, which, by the way, I'd be remiss. I don't want to be the asshole. Happy anniversary to my wife. It's today, 8 years. Happily married, I guess you could say, on my side.
One thing about Dave Stern Show, his anniversary day, and he doesn't bring it up till 10 minutes into the show here.
It's like Larry Allen anniversary. You know what I mean? That's just the way it falls.
Oh, you know what? I totally, you know what we're going to do? I'm going to have your wife on the show one day. See if I can get her to do that.
That's her worst nightmare. On the show, her worst nightmare is to be on a podcast.
Just be off to the side, but we'll get her audio only. And
I'm just like say, hey. Completely shadow out her face like they do for those like criminal unsolved mysteries. Like you just can't see her. It's just hear her voice.
And we'll have to
knock her voice so it doesn't even sound
change her voice. Like, all I'll ask her is, how do you feel about Larry Allen? But that's so funny. Happy anniversary. That's wonderful. How many years now, you said?
8.
8 years. Getting involved. 8 long years. All right. Well, that's great. Very cool. And by the way, you posted some cute pictures of your daughter in the pool. I remember those days. She's like a little animal, though. She didn't care.
You don't understand. She'll say she's scared to do something, but then 8 seconds later she does it, and then she's just like, "Oh, that wasn't that bad." You know what I mean? Like now she won't stop jumping off the diving board, which means I got to go out there to make sure.
Well, let me tell you, it's a pain in the ass. I noticed on the video she was jumping from the back step instead of the one you wanted her to jump on.
I said, "Jump out, Stell, jump out," and she's just. By the way,
slow motion review, she missed the back of her head by about 4 millimeters. Of course, you let her do it twice. But the best part was, I don't know if you caught the little terror. Your boy started to float around in the background. I was like, oh, Dave's not ready for this. He's got single coverage. And if he just
no, you don't understand. Like the other day, we tried to do the no swimmies thing too, because Stella's now tall enough in the low end to get her face above. She's like neck above. So it's hey, I want to learn to show you how to swim and float. And like I took my eye to talk to my dad for like half a second, and now next thing I look to my left, Stella's under. I'm like, what the hell? First of all, you can't take your fucking eyes off her.
Top 5 invention in the last 2 centuries, in my opinion. Those new floaty things, they can't drown. Even if you wanted to drown your daughter, you're like, oh damn it, I got to take the floaties. Like it completely. Because in the beginning we had these ones with Natalie, and I was like, she'll drown immediately with these. And then we got the new floaty things.
Oh, now it's a completely. You look like a fucking Michelin man.
Especially you could probably throw your daughter 20 feet into the pool, and they're just gonna float to the top.
I had a reminder. I said, hey, listen, you jump in without this, you're not coming up right away. So you better move.
I know you gotta but please, I just read in the paper. You gotta watch. Especially the little guy. I was a nervous Nelly because I'm not a great swimmer. Don't get me wrong, I could save a kid, but I was always like, because what happens is you start bullshitting, or you go grab a beer, or you're cooking a burger, and next thing you know, you got to listen for that. And kids they don't make noise when they're in trouble. Well, watch, and your son will be. He's not going to pay attention. I can tell that.
No.
Don't go in the pool. We're eating now. No, Dad, I'm going in the pool without your floating.
I even tried to pull the whole. They had like a couple chips before. I was like, well, now you got to wait 20 minutes. My dad to this day still does that. Like anytime I eat something right before I go in the pool, like, oh, you're not coming in. And I'm like, Dad, I'm 38. I'm 38. I'm getting in the pool now. I had the slice of pizza. I understand, but I'm getting in now. That's a myth.
Remember that joke by Artie? Artie Lang used to say, I couldn't swim all summer because it never was 20 minutes since I last ate. That kind of thing.
That's great.
It's a great joke. But so Patreon here, anniversary day, Luis Aguayo day, a lot of days here at Jay. We're Spanish audience, anniversary audience, married couple day here at the stadium. Of course, Patreon, we're mired. No, we do not have a 42. No Mariano Rivera has to be a Yankee fan out there.
We'll get Jeff Gignac. Jeff Gignac is in the chat right now. I believe he's my boy from Canada. So, Jeff, if you're listening and you got $3 a month to spare, join Jimmy's Patreon, become a supporting member of the show, and enjoy yourself, man. Because you won't get a better quality podcast than you're getting right now.
Because this is the Jimmy Palumbo International Show here at Shea, available in Canada and all countries. Hey, Jeff, welcome to the show. I was shout out to Daryl Clark, who was busting my balls on social media about my swing, and we're going to get to softball later on in the show. My shoulders down. So, what are you kidding me?
It's like, tell me. Wow. I mean, that's a setup.
Yeah, he knows he set himself up. Also, shout out to Johnine Michaud, helped me out with the pickleball glasses, which I got to find out what the prices are. I got some people want to buy them. Also, my boy Shecky. And also Alex Tetzena, who we think is peeing in the cup due to steroids from his Monsters home run the other day. He's the number one first Patreon guy. So we got also here ChasingMiracles.com. Just talked to Donna this morning. I got patches on, but I'm running low. I got the bags in the water. There's other things they sell: coral, calcium, get you all minerals and all kinds of shit. But these patches work. My mother's like addicted to them. My father-in-law uses them now. Everybody's patched all up. We're like the Olympic team over here. Check these out. Go to ChasingMiracles.com. Talk to Donna and Tommy. They got paint stuff too. That all kinds of things with these patches. People love it. My mother swears by it. I am not making that up.
I think I'm going to have to finally get involved with Chasing Miracles. I just feel like there's a competition every week. Like, how many patches you got? How many patches you got? So I feel like I got to get involved with this.
You know what? I'm going to see if I can get Donna. Donna listens to the show usually a couple days later. I think Donna, send Dave a sample package. She will.
Please.
Anyway, there's no needles, non-invasive. You can pee in the cup. It's nothing like that. ChasingMiracles.com. Shit your body needs here at Shea. All right. Well, we briefly mentioned it. Let's get to it. Rangers. Listen. My extensive knowledge of hockey, I was right. We didn't put the puck in the net as much as they did. But you know what, though? I don't know enough about the Rangers to judge, like, oh, is this a successful season? All I know is everybody they played in the playoffs was good. In other words, the Rangers lost the series. Florida's good, and the series was close, man. The games were close. It was overtime wins.
The scores were close. I don't think the series was close. I think Florida was just way over physical and
but it was a good. It was Was it? I get that, and I watched the games. I did, but just a good series. And Florida was in it last year. I mean, it's just so Ranger. A Ranger fan. I'm just pissed they lost, but it just sucks. Knicks, Rangers were so hot there again. I always feel like, as fans of things that happen in Madison Square Garden, I still feel like the Yankees have given me so much joy in the last 25 years, right? I swear.
So I saw a stat.
Is it like 2 months total we've had fun with
I saw a stat this morning. I believe somebody on Chop Sports said that it's now been a combined 100 seasons between the four major sports that a New York team has not won a championship. 100 seasons. So think about it. 4 seasons since, I guess, 2009 when the Yankees won it last. Right. It's been a drought. It's been an absolute drought. And, of course, somebody had to come in and say, well, New York FC won the soccer MLS Cup. I'm like, okay, stop that. Like, I get it. You're soccer enthusiasts. We're about to get the World Cup. It's going to be hilarious. We're going to talk about it here on this show when it comes. Episode 247 when the World Cup gets.
The World Cup is going to be nothing but traffic for people. That's my take on it. How was the World Cup? Traffic. Yeah. Listen, you little kids play soccer. You don't watch FC, and all these little. By the way, that's another thing about soccer that sucks. I think there's 1,100 soccer leagues in the world. Like, oh, it's the FC, HC. It's worse than MMA and years ago in the 80s with the boxing worlds, the WBA, WBC, WBF. There was like 7 champions. Anyway, I don't mind soccer. I get it. By the way, I can't play soccer. You have to be in shape. You don't come off the field. I appreciate all that. But when you're up,
there's a lot of walking that goes on. I watch the games. There's a
lot
of guys with hands on hips, like.
All right, Dave. Okay, you and I would be staples.
Oh, I couldn't get on the field. There's no way.
Yeah. I've said this 1,000 times on the air. The worst part about soccer is you're down 1-0 and they're like, blowout. Totally killed them. I'm like, what? That would be like an NFL game. Like, yeah, we lost 3-0. We got smoked. Like, or you know what I mean? Baseball, bloop and a bomb. That's why soccer sucks. There's no bloop and a bomb. It's like, and 2-0 is like, if I was a soccer player, we were down 2-0, I would raise my coach. I'm out. Give me that. I'm tired. Give me that.
Well, that's how I felt about the Rangers. As soon as they went up 1-0, I was like, And
then they had to make it shitty by scoring with 40 seconds to go. And by the way, I think
that's so we couldn't make fun of it. That's so we couldn't drag Panarin through the proverbial buzzsaw because he hasn't shown up all series, and then he snipes one with 40 seconds to go. And I'm like, yay.
I have a new asshole thing for me. If I was a hockey coach, I would be like, I want one guy who's awesome at scoring open net goals. Like, so there's like a minute to go, open net. I want my guy there. He knows like angles. If I ricochet off the right bumper, right sideboard, like I felt like the Rangers with the other team, like guys. And they're like, oh, no, they're trying not to get icing. No. Just wrist shot it into the friggin' net.
I'm obviously more of an avid fan than you are, but I will say the things that drive me most nuts are, yes, the lack of attempts on an empty net, where I'm just what's the worst that can happen right now? Just flick it down there. What, you got to do a face-off? Oh, man, screw that. Either that or when they're trying to clear the puck out of the zone. And like you have a guy who just fans. I'm talking just whoop and just I'm like, it's just hit it as hard as you possibly fucking can to the other side of the rink. I don't get it. But, again, I'm not a hockey player.
Yes, neither am I. And I would be the worst hockey player because trying to get that puck in the sideboards, everybody's shooting at me and just sticks in my face.
Would you say that hockey's probably the hardest sport to be a pro? Like really the hardest sport to play?
That's it. You know why that's a loaded question. Two reasons why.
I just feel like there's a lot of skills that you need just to be okay at it.
But some people start skating when they're 0, and so skating to them is right. That's a tough. And by the way, they're only on they play a minute and a half and then they're on the bench. So
total combine time I think like gets into the 20-minute mark. Like
if Lawrence Taylor played hockey and LT is still, Larry Allen would be like saved by Larry Allen. So
you ever see that commercial where the walrus is playing goalie? Like,
that's another thing. I always say you get these. I watch that 600-pound, my 600-pound, whatever that show is. Why don't they just get a big fat bastard to lay in goal, and all he's got to do is protect the high. He's got a handle.
They've already decreased the pad size. They used to be bigger. They used to have you used to not have to move, and now pads are a little thinner.
I think in lacrosse, okay, I watch lacrosse. I'm like, you know what? I'll solve this problem. I'm going to get a big fat bastard, stick him in goal with that little tennis racket and shorts, and be like, go ahead. I just got to take welts to the gut. But you're not scoring on me. There's no anyway. I digress. I'm ripping on people that are fat. Don't mean to do that. We'll get to the Yankees. Let's see. Yankees is playing well. What can you say? Judge, arguably the best 5 weeks of any player ever.
And everybody was panicking in April. Like, I don't know. It's like, no, he's one of the best players in baseball. Like, come on.
But Judge, Yankee fans judge by who gets jewelry. So let's go. Win it now.
I know.
I still think Holmes stinks. Everybody statistically, no way. I'm telling you, this guy, the Yankees, I think are going to have to get a closer because Holmes, I don't know who
bring
likes
the trumpet
Holmes?
Guy over from the Mets. Maybe he'll change the scenery. He'll help him out.
The Mets. We don't spend much time talking about the Mets, and nor will I now. They stink. And you know what? I think the guy skating by is still Lindor. Dude, he makes big money. Oh, we got Lindor. Don't worry, he'll finish 280. No, he's not. He stinks. He's so overrated, that guy. It makes me crazy. People hate when I say that. But Tyson Hogan, how you doing, buddy? Yeah, so the Yankees are playing great. Listen, but listen, it's early. And by the way, I feel like we haven't lost in 2 months. We're only like a game, and we're a game and a half up on the Orioles.
Yeah, listen, Orioles are a young, hungry team, man. But look, I will say this: my plea to Brian Cashman and the Steinbrenners, whoever's left in that family, just sit across the table at Juan Soto and give him a blank check and say, "What do you think you are worth?"
Listen to me.
This dude is unbelievable.
He's great. You know what I like about him? Of course, I love home runs. But his at bats, you watch him. He's a cocky guy, but he's cocky not in a little bit of Ricky Henderson. In other words, he's just very confident. Mm-hmm. Maybe like a Deion Sanders kind of thing, but not as flashy. He just knows if I don't swing at it, it's probably a ball. And then when you get near the strike zone, he takes a hack at it.
They asked him the other day with I think with Volpe on third, they're down 1. And he's like, all I'm trying to do is make contact and hit a fly ball. And you hit one into McCovey Cove.
I know.
Not even thinking.
It's you know what? I just think he's got Boris. I think he's trying to leverage. He's going to get a massive contract. And I don't know. I guess he's worth it. I would try to sign him too. But I think he's going to. I don't think. It all depends. If the Yankees win the World Series and he sees what it's like to be on a Yankee, and you look at all that Garrick, Ruth, DiMaggio, Thurman, then you got even guys who weren't decent players like O'Neill and Martinez, and these guys are now legends in New York. And you imagine if you're really good, like Judge is going to have a monument for sure. Yeah, but I just think he's going to want $700 million. I don't think the Yankees are going to do it, but. I would do the same thing. Just
get rid of that Stanton contract. We'll be right.
Well, they can't yet because it'll be dead money. But by the way, Stanton, the double the other night he hit. Come on. You know what the thing is? I think Stanton knows as good as Judge and Soto are. Stanton's I know, but I'm cooler. Stanton, those guys are already in the club early. They get to the club early. That's what Judge and Soto do. And they're good-looking fellas in the club. And there's chicks looking at. And then, midway through the night, Stanton just walks in the club. And it's
music stops, CD screeches. Everybody's thought pauses at this Greek god of a statue known as Giancarlo Stanton.
How about, did you see the rope he hit that one at the double?
Dude, every time he makes contact, it's
so great.
You better be careful. You better be watching, and your head better be on the swivel.
And I think he's not striking out nearly as much as he used to, but he's still. I'm waiting for that bad. He always has that bad month. And when Giancarlo has a bad month, they don't go by hits. They go by how many times the ball touched the bat, contact.
I'm waiting for the impending lat strain or something.
Yeah,
I'm waiting. Right? The guy's doing too well. Speaking of rehab, Simon, if you're watching this live and you're in the Somerset area, Mr. Garrett Cole is scheduled to start tonight for the Somerset Patriots. So
are you going? I would love to.
No, I got my kids and so I can't. But
all right. Well, there you go. Yankees.
Hey, honey, happy anniversary. We're going to a Somerset Patriots game to watch Garrett Cole pitch.
Yeah, you would tell. Yeah, please. If there was some kind of Dallas Cowboy throwing out the first pitch, you'd be like, "We're taking the whole family."
Yeah, I know.
90 degrees here in Somerset. We're live. Well, I got my colonoscopy done this week here.
Oh shit! How did all the shit come out?
There was a lot of shit going on after we did the show last week. You got to drink that. I put 7-Up in the stuff.
Are you allowed to mix it with anything?
It's got to be a clear liquid, but it's just got that taste. You're like, damn it! It's brutal. Yeah, well, you know what? 40. Where's Shay?
Coming up in just about a year and a half.
I think it's 50 for you. I don't think.
Oh, now it's 50. I thought it was 40.
I got my first one at 50. Yeah, it's just crazy. Thank God I got a decent constitution. I have time to, it's definitely at one point though, you are definitely 4 seconds ago out of timeouts trying to get the field goal unit on. It's a scramble. Spike the ball. And then, but then you go down there and then they put you under and you wake up. But then all of a sudden he tells me, "Oh, Jimmy, listen, we found a bunch of polyps in there." Now I'm like, hey, wait a minute. Will Jimmy Palumbo Show go past show number 168 here in Shea? But everything worked out. They were benign. I'm good. He says, we'll see you in another 10 years. So health report here, Jimmy Palumbo. I'm still a fat fuck. But I also did stand-up big time stand-up at Chester, New Jersey's The Public House here, Shea. It was great because this woman, Liz Glazer, was one of the comedians. She walks up to me. She's like, "Jimmy Palumbo, I can't believe I'm working with you. And I'm like, hey, how you doing? She's like, kissing Jessica Stein. She's this woman she's gay, and she thinks that she's like, that movie's like the 10 Commandments for the lesbian community. And I was giving her tidbits about kissing Jessica Stein. Which maybe
did you play somebody gay in that movie?
No, it was the only time where the girls, the two gay girls, flirt with guys. So we think they're flirting with us, but they're flirting with each other. And she went off on that, and then she went up on stage. The funny thing was the host was gay, and everybody was gay and Jewish, and I go on last. And I was just like, I walked up, and I couldn't think of an opening line. I was just like, hey, you know what, guys? I'm so sorry. I'm not Jewish, and I'm not gay. And and then I looked at this table of hot girls sitting around me, and they're beautiful women, a table of 6. All running 4 threes. And I was like, well, listen, I blew a guy like 6 weeks ago, but that doesn't count. That doesn't count. It got waved off.
Yeah, you are officially embracing the month there, Jimmy.
Yeah. And it got a laugh, but there was this table of women. I started doing DJs and Legacy material in front of them, and they were all giggling. But then as I'm on stage, I'm like, wow, all I see is 6 giant wedding rings. And at one point I went, you guys are real pretty, but what is going on your left hand and Shay? And they all held them up. I was like, that'll do it here. Final score. The girls 6, Palumbo nothing here at Shay. But it was a really good show. Shout out to John. He used to manage Stand Up New York. He put me up, gave me some good money. And Liz was fantastic. She was really a wonderful comedian. I will hire her for sure. When we do shows up here in Ramsey, she was just cool chick. It was a lot of fun, which of course, you know what time it is, Dave? What time is it, Dave?
It seems like we're right on line for some cornholelevel.com.
That's right.
Jimmy's credit segment. Yeah.
Jimmy's credit segment, cornholelevel.com. Now listen, we are approaching the big summer months. And I think most of New Jersey on the Jersey Shore has got problems with their cornhole. I just got my colonoscopy. And matter of fact, the guy told me he hooked a cornhole level on my ass to make sure my cornhole was level. I felt very good about that. And I actually played cornhole level for a minute. By the way, I'm like, I shoot like 2 of those beanbags, and I'm like, I just can't do that. I would rather, it interrupts drinking, like, or eating a burger. It interrupts other fun things, like even just tapping your hand to a song on the radio. Like, what am I going to do? Throw this bag in the hole? I banged it right in the hole 2 or 3 times. I think I'm ranked 12th. Cornholelevel.com. These things are awesome. You got to do it. It hooks right on there, and it's an awesome gift to Scarlett McKnights. You hook it on there. It measures the pitch, the side, the left, the right, everything. They're really cool.
And to celebrate Pride Month, make sure you get your cornhole straight.
Yeah. Everyone out there, please take care of your cornhole. Pride Month here at the stadium. All fans 18 and over. That would be. I gotta tell Mike that he should totally just say, anybody need help with their cornhole? It would be great. What a great marketing.
That's a marketing play. That's such a definitely.
And imagine that the month of June, cornhole's flying out the shelves here at Shay. I think he's doing so you got to check these things out. Cornholelevel.com. 20% off if you enter JP Show. I'm gonna make Tyson Hogan, Will Pena, and Jeff Gignac, anybody else who tunes in every week on the live comments, go to cornholelevel.com and buy some of these things so we can keep Mike Caprio's cornholelevel.com. Put in JP Show for that 20%, which we believe was $1.75 off.
Something to that effect.
There you go. Anyway, cornholelevel.com, of course, sponsors my credits. And Dave, we always text the night before or day before, whatever the hell it is, what show we're going to do. And you chose.
I chose 30 Rock. I know a couple actor friends that have also been on this show, which is kind of cool because I don't know when exactly you were, but maybe you interacted with them. I don't know. But if remember, I believe it was Tracy Morgan had like a gang, and it was like 3 or 4 big black dudes. One of the guys' name is Rich Brevard. He was one of the guys on there, but I don't know if you guys cross paths or whatever. But it says, according to your illustrious IMDb, that you were on not 1 but 2 episodes of 30 Rock.
And I got lucky because once you do one TV show and you have a character that's memorable, they don't let you put on. Not too many people have done 2 episodes in my space. I'm sure there's been a few, but and I was in season 3, episode 8. I played Matt Dowd, who was a crew guy on the show 30 Rock within the show. The episode name was called Flu Shot. And the cool thing was I got to work with, obviously, Tina Fey and Katrina Bowden, the blonde girl. She's just hitting threes. She's like a young Obi Toppin. And then I got to work with, imagine that girl's really hot. She's a good actress, and I'm comparing her to Obi Toppin. Only 4 people in the world get that.
All the love we could have just gave DiVincenzo there, and you gave it to Obi Toppin. Like, come on.
But no, Obi Toppin stinks. But also I worked with Joe D'Onofrio, who played in Bronx Tale. He was slick, and he also played in Goodfellas, a young Joe Pesci. I got to know him pretty well. Really nice guy. Always Joe, if you're listening, he's always positive, good guy. He's on a show called Gravesend, which I did a couple episodes. He plays a great character on there. And me and him were 2 of the crew guys. And we have to bring the plot was funny because there was she was trying to take off vacation and she didn't get the flu shot. Everybody starts getting the flu. It's very funny. But the cool thing was Tina Fey had done Beer League. I was up before this, and she's good friends with the director of Beer League, Frank Sebastiano. And Frank said, go up to Tina and say hi. So I went up to Tina, and I was like, hey, Tina, how you doing? I'm friends with Frank Sebastiano. He directed Beer League you were in. And she looks at me in front of like a decent amount of people, goes, oh, Beer League. That's how I got my SAG card. And I'm like, because when she shot Beer League, she was nothing more than the girl from SNL. By the time Beer League came out and 30 Rock event, she was now like on every movie. She was like a mega star.
So how does one get the SAG? Like, what do you got to do?
If you have certain amount, you have to book certain amount of jobs, and then you become a must join. And so she joined because that's how I got my SAG card. And she said it like no doubt. She wasn't bullshitting. I'm like, oh. And she goes, yeah, that was a cute. I don't think she saw the movie, to be honest with you. But the weird thing was she used to always have glasses on SNL. And then we put her on Beer League. She was behind a table because she was pregnant. And plus she didn't have her glasses on. So people don't even realize Tina Fey was in Beer League.
She's in Maganelli Fitness, right?
Yeah, another dumb chick gets herpes or something like that.
Yeah.
There you go. Dave with the quote. But she couldn't have been cooler. And we did the scenes, it was just cool. It was very like NBC show, man. There's money there. I got paid very well. We did some funny stuff. It was just a really cool, fun show to do. And then I was up for another show a couple years later, season 5, episode 19, called I Heart Connecticut. And I played Enzo, the pizzeria owner. But there was a thing where they weren't sure if they were going to let me do it because they didn't look to see I'd already done one. But supposedly Tina Fey said, no, Jimmy's great. We'll put him in. And that I had that was actually my scene in that. That was fun to do because I had Tina Fey. I had, what's his name? Jack McBriar. And we were doing this whole thing about going to a pizza academy and all this different stuff. And it was a really fun scene to do. A couple of times I screwed up and they screwed up, and we improv a little bit. But it was a cool show to do. And you got to remember, what's great about it is we shot it at Silver Cup in Queens. You make good money. It's a network show. I'm just looking around like someone like Jack McBriar. What a break of a lifetime. I mean, he probably did a lot of stuff before that, but and of course the girl, Katrina, you're talking about, they didn't have a lot on their resume and they hit a 700-foot grand slam to win it. Because that show ran for, I don't know, 8 seasons. That's the money is, you're talking about life-changing, don't have to work anymore money, which is awesome. But they all did good work. And look, the show was funny. And it was cool. Also, the first one was directed by Don Scardino. Second one was directed by Stephen Lee Davis. And also the casting director twice was Jennifer McNamara, who's been good to me. And I appreciate that. She was the NBC casting director. It was a cool show to do. People saw it. Oh my God, yeah, 30 Rock. I love those. I always say this, when you book a network show, your aunt calls you up. When you book one of those, an HBO show, nobody calls you. But 3 years later, you're in ShopRite. Hey, I saw you on Miss Maisel. Oh, you're that behind. The show was that show was 4 years ago, but I just started watching it. So I always get a kick out of that. But the residuals have been good. So that's it. That was my.
I was thinking about stuff like residuals and stuff, and how that business works and how that business model works, because I'm watching. I don't know if you saw. You were in the middle of, I think it was around, you were getting ready for your softball game, and I sent you a picture of Colonia Penn's new commercial. Right. And I was like, well, looks like Jimmy's been replaced real quick. Well, but my biggest thing was like, man, I wonder how much Kevin James makes just King of Queens reruns. Like, it's on every day on WLNY or TBS or whatever. It's all day, every day. King of Queens is every TV land.
It's massive. It's massive. But you got to remember, some of these guys, not only they get residuals, they got back end money. So they get a cut of the. So if you're Netflix, you're like, we want the Jimmy Palumbo Show, and they write you a check for $6 million to air it for 6 years. The producers get a cut of that, big cut. And then you get, so that's why the Friends, the fact that all these streaming, Friends would have ran its course. The residuals would have been way lower. But Netflix, Disney Plus, Max, whatever the hell it's on now. The three producers of Friends, I just can't even imagine. And then they got that, if you're a fan, that museum that goes around, I took my daughter there. Like that went to every city in the world. Like, and all that money, it's $35 to get in there. And it was a line. And I'm like, they probably get like $9 for every one of those. It's massive. Yeah, they make anybody in the cast is not hurting for change. But it does go lower after a while. But my stuff is complicated. I can't. Colonial Penn, I would say we are mired. Because no one has texted me saying they saw it. And it used to air like on Matlock and Beretta, one of those shows, TV Land or something. Holy shit. And but now I haven't seen. I did get a holding fee.
It's so bad. Listen, I saw your commercial, and I think that it was very, like, I know you, so I'm not gonna be like, oh, that sucked, But like, I'm looking at, it, I'm like, that was good. But like the other commercials that they air, it's just like, it's gotta be some of the worst acting I've ever seen in my life.
Listen, I'm not going to get involved. Colonial Penn's been very good to me, and I think
I'm just saying, from an outsider who is not endorsed by Colonial Penn, can also tell you that their actors that you've chosen, besides Jimmy, have been atrocious.
I can't say a word. I think Colonial Penn's fantastic. I think it's one of the best insurance companies in the world, and I got a holding fee, which means they have the right to air it over the next 3 months. But I don't know if it is. I am begging that it is, because that could be, talk about an Aaron Boone bloop and a bomb to win it. But getting, the residuals are, it's a weird thing how it all works. Matter of fact, I was going to track all the shows I've done and how much, since I booked a lot of these shows, how much every year I get. I want to be able to go like Friends. I made blank on that. Every year.
You have to claim that shit every year on taxes and stuff. Yeah, right.
Sure, it comes
even if it's a penny, like it doesn't matter. Like
if it's 3 cents, it's usually a penny taken out for federal taxes. So it's like, absolutely. But
speaking of overvalue, why don't you tell me about the time you got drafted in a softball league?
Well, before we do that. Softball, we're going to talk about Absolute Eyewear, 42 Main Street, Woodbridge, New Jersey, 732-236-3937. Craig and Johnny, now family owned. Craig, of course, was my right center fielder for 20 years, and I was the right fielder, and he needed my guy. Talk about a clubhouse guy. I wasn't a clubhouse guy. I was in the field guy. I would have to coach him during the games. Like, Craig, what are you doing? He'd get mad and play a guy really close. I'm squeezing him. Like, Craig, and then a ball would go sailing over his head, right? I'd be like, Craig, why? My theory, catch the ball, throw it in. That's your job as an outfielder. But go to Absolute Eyewear, 42 Main Street, Woodbridge, full-service opticians. They got everything. Ray-Ban, Coach, Ralph Lauren, Dave Sturchio's Jimmy Choo, Silhouette, Michael Kors, Vogue, Maui Jim, Costa Del Mar, and Charles Oakley for kids. Also, they have sports tech. I think I'm getting that right. For pickleball glasses, I wear them because I hit a ball the other day off my paddle, ricocheted to my partner. And the other guy got hit in the ball. I'm thinking about wearing a cup, glasses. I'm going to be like a Michelin man out there. Some guy got hit in the ball.
You know what I was playing over the weekend? I thought of you. It's not pickleball, but for whatever reason, my dad has a badminton set, just to hit the little birdie around, and I'm just like, dude, this sucks. This is not fun.
Badminton, but
at all.
Big time badminton players who I actually know, some who play badminton like in a league. The way we do it in the backyard is way different than pickleball. I think pickleball might be easier than badminton, to be honest with you.
Might be.
Because I know what happens to you when you're playing badminton. You start hitting it really cool back and forth, and then your dad hits one of you, and it just goes over the net. And you think you're going to get it, and it drops right down. And
it was a blown Achilles / torn ACL waiting to happen for me. I was like, this is not fun.
Absolutely.
My brother starts getting serious. He kicks off his flip flops. He's like, nah. I was like, dude, what the fuck are we doing?
Any event at a family outing becomes Game 7 of a World Series.
It really does.
And all of a sudden, it's like you're yelling at Stella, get away. Everybody.
Miles is going around with the extra. Club just whacking people and shit. I'm like, oh my god, this is hysterical.
No, Miles, me and my brother are playing. Go in the pool without your floodies right now. But go to Absolute Eyewear, 732-326-3937. Now, 706 jersey in the back in honor of my. So listen, I get drafted in the 9th round. I found out how the draft works. I know Kyle's been texting me every 5 minutes. He wants to know how it works. How it works is this. Let's do some math here. There was 16 rounds. I went in the 9th round. So I didn't go dead last. I'm 59 years old. What 59-year-old goes? There's only 5 teams. So 5 times 16 is what, 80? So there was 80 players in the draft. I went probably 47th, 48th, maybe something like that, which is shitty and great. I go down to the field yesterday, and they play on beautiful AstroTurf, but they use a ball. Dude, the ball they use should be outlawed. I don't know why these softball leagues do this. Dude, this ball was that yellow one. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Like it's a golf ball. That's how I look at it. And right away, the other team was young. And I'm like, oh boy. But there was a couple of older guys on our team. I made a joke. Hey, I played beer league softball, but not, this is, been a while, a couple of years. And like, no, you're in the right spot. And we, of course, I got benched the first inning, which I did a video I sent you. There's 14 guys at the game, so they rotate. You bat 14. So the first inning, I'm not in the field. With the home team, we take the field.
God.
I did a funny video with it. I'll have to send it to you. And but I watched the other team. They were hitting through some of the guys. Like if he asked me to play third base, I think I would have said, I think I want to hold off. Like guys were hitting. It's like pitcher going to the driving range and standing about 16 feet away and said, no, tee off. I got it. And the shortstop was eating them up. I'm like, oh God. So first inning, I played first base. The second inning, I went in to play first base. And I was like, I don't field balls on an AstroTurf. I was trying to tell the guy, hey, can you and I'm introducing myself. Hey, I'm Jimmy. A couple guys like, oh, the guy from Beer League. Half the team could care less. And I wanted to get a hop off the turf. Like all of a sudden you're supposed to have knowledge. I feel like I'm at Roland Garros, the French Open on clay. Like, how do you know how to do this? You know what I mean? So the first inning, no balls got hit to me. Then I had to catch the second inning. And when I catch, I don't catch that off, which, by the way, catching is you're at the end of your career. I really want to make sure the pitcher gets the ball back right away because that's what they want. They want to get into a rhythm. But the umpire was like, sir, just why don't you back up a little bit? Like, I was crouching him. I was trying to steal strikes and everything. So he made me step back. I don't want to see you get hurt. And there was a pop fly over my head though, but it was like one of those foul tips but I gave a yeoman's effort going back, trying to come up with the play. But in the second inning, I got up and it's 6-12. And I'm an unlimited arc guy. And I'm like, all right. So I said, let me just pull the boy, test the third base. I hit a scorcher to third. He caught it, but they were like, but all I wanted to do is let them know that like I could still play. So I hit a frozen rope to this third baseman. He caught it.
The pop of the third baseman's glove. I was like,
I know I got
that had some velo on it.
And it totally everybody went like, hey man, that's way to go, even though it's an out, way to go. But I was pissed because I wanted to go down the line. I thought I was gonna beat him. And then I get up, then I play first base in the then I get up again. And this time it was second and third. We were down like 10-3, second and third in like the fourth inning, fifth inning. There you go. There's the look of anger after
that's after the frozen rope.
Hit number 2,400. I tried to figure out how many years I've been playing, about how many games. I've been 2 or 3 hits a game for years. So, but second time up, outside pitch, I hit a nice rope over the second baseman's head. 2 runs will score. You know what I mean? But then I played first the next inning. I was all full of piss and vinegar. We cut it to 10-5 or 10-6. And it was first and second, nobody out. And a guy hits a scorcher to me at first, but in between first and second. It looked like it was a base hit clean, but I had it. But the only thing is, like, you got to go. I was trying to dive on the turf. I don't know how to play turf. And I think it kind of handcuffed me. The team was like, nah, Jimmy, that was a base hit. I'm like, no, I should have had that one. Then I would have come up throwing the third. I was all ready to go. So that kind of sucked in. We ended up getting beat. The other team was way better than us. But nice, a bunch of nice guys. So it was fun. But I was, listen, 1 for 2. But on Sunday, I was 3 for 3 with the Potbellies. So on the season, 5 for 7. That's not a bad way to go in 3 softball games. Last year, I think it was 0 for 11 before I got going. So I'm excited about it. That was a couple years ago
with us, unfortunately.
Right. But the Mahway League is cool. A lot of fun.
You're batting 714, Jimmy.
There you go. Above 706. But you know what? You'll see that. I'll be down. I'll be batting 312 late.
In the dog days of summer, it's going to be 110 degrees. You're going to be worried about which Bud Light you're going to freaking crack open next.
But they don't. Sunday league, you drink on the bench. But this league, you don't. Plus, with that golf ball they use, I don't want to drink during the game.
No, you need to be all wits.
And I realized I was like, I told the guy, like, I could play some right field too. And then I realized with that ball, I don't think I can play right field. If the guy hits one in the gap, he's not going to get there. So pretty. And by the way,
of the outstretched reach of Palumbo.
You know what job I want to do? I really want to have this job. My job for the rest of my life is to go to every softball league in America and tell them what rules they have that are stupid. There's one rule on our Sunday league. As soon as it releases the pitcher's hand, you can run. You can like steal. And the only way you can get thrown out is if the catcher catches the ball and throws it back to first base for a force out. If he's gone too far, that means if a guy leaves early and you got the number 3 batter, usually is pretty good, right? A guy leaves early, he's almost at second base when the contact is made. That's a stupid rule. The other thing is,
especially if it's unlimited arc. I mean, you get
what do you do?
All that time, like that's stupid.
The other rule is 55 feet bases versus 60 feet bases. I noticed I'm playing first base, and I'm like, I noticed every ground ball is shortstop, like a one hopper. It was a bang bang play at first. That's why the umpire, by the way, anything close, which I appreciate if you're consistent with it. But I'm like, then I realized, I go, oh, the bases are shorter. He's like, oh, not really. Yeah, they are. In Woodbridge, when we play, the bases were 60 feet. That means you have to run down the line, and the plays like a one hopper to second base. You're out by 10 steps. In this league, you're out by 1.5 feet. Make it 60. It's a men's league. Make it 60. This isn't high school girls softball where the pitchers are 10 feet away from that's another rule. And the other rule is you change the ball. Don't make it those really soft ones they do in Central Park. I played in those leagues for years because they got the fields interact. So the center fielder is in front of the other. You can hit it. You can also hit somebody walking their baby in Central Park. I get all that. But don't make it those rocket ball. I tell you what's going to happen. Some guy's our pitcher was older. He pitched a gem, by the way, I thought. He's going to get hit in the face, and that'll do it here. Why? And the balls we used in Woodbridge were the same ball, but it had a different core, and it was lighter. It's just a lighter ball. It's so stupid to play And then there's that blue dot ball, blue or red dot, I forget, where I'm telling you, it's a golf ball. You can hit it with your driver. Stupid. So you can't lead. There's no stealing. None of that shit.
Yeah, but the Whoopers League, if you leave the base before you're out.
You're out. Yeah, you gotta wait till it's hit. Yeah, that's a good rule. That's the way it should be.
Like it's that, but that's like completely opposite side of the spectrum. Like,
yes, you're
leave
better
on
off
release. Like, all right, so I'm going to recruit 5 fast guys. Like,
yeah, but you know why? A guy got a base hit to center field between the short bases. There's a guy on first. He leaves. He's gone as soon as when the ball's in the air. So he's almost at second base. The guy who hit it hits a one hopper out to center field, and because of the 55 feet, he gets a double like no big deal, no throw even. And I'm like, well, if I had any kind of speed, I could get. I go opposite field. I could get a double each time. Of course, I started slowing up before first base. I'm like, I'm taking my hit. But a stupid rule.
I guess the only detriment to the whole leaving early thing is if somebody hits a liner and it's caught, like you're doubled up immediately.
Yes, but
that's the risk of like a hit and run though. It's like that's major league shit.
But you know what? You know what happens, guys? Certain leagues they don't. Anyway, it's just a competitive thing, and I like the unlimited arc because it gives a guy who's a good hitter eventually hits unlimited arc. 6 to 12 though, like guys like Dave Destruction. I don't know. Remember years ago we shot that thing beer league.
When you said you played first base, I was like, oh, you played first base when. Oh wait, no, it didn't come out yet.
That was like I feel like we're looking at episode. You know what we shot beer league the pilot when like a Banachek and Barnaby Jones was on.
My dad finally asked over the weekend. He's like, so when is that thing? Whatever happened to that thing you did in October? I was like, it's being edited. He goes, really? It takes that long? I was like, apparently.
I did hear, for those of you scoring at home, it is finally in the hands of a different editing company, and they are editing it definitely as we speak. And I was told right around June 13th, we should have something. But to be honest with you, when it comes, it comes, and I got to send people.
I just need the world to see my acting skills. You know what I mean? I need people to do that.
Plus, you know what I'm going to do this time? When I get that first cut, everybody's going to be like, oh my God, I'm so happy it's done. But I'm going to watch it. I'm going to go, no, it's not. Here's why.
Like, thing better win a fucking Oscar at this point.
Oh my God.
Come on.
I feel like I feel like we shot it on film and the guy's rolling.
He's editing it by hand, like pencil and paper.
So I'm throwing Tom Baldinger under the bus here. But you know what? Listen, you know what? I'm not throwing him under the bus because the first screening takes place under a bus. That's how, it's like we shot that. First of all, here, new rule. When you shoot a short film during Halloween and it's past Memorial Day and you didn't see it yet, they gotta
guess what? It's gonna come out next Halloween.
Yeah, next Halloween. Probably right. We'll be I'm gonna try to talk you into going to Vegas. Other than that, I played some pickleball, started to play well in that arena. Shout out to Mario, my pickleball buddy, he's a complete asshole on the court, talks during the points. He's a good player, but I'm like, Mario, shut up. People are getting pissed. So finally some guy said something to him and he was like, nah, shut up. I won the point, I'm like, Mario, shut up. So he's like the bad boy, the Ili Nastasi, the John McEnroe of pickleball here in Ramsey and Mahway. But he's actually a really nice guy, but on the court, he's got to learn to shut up. I'm starting to play better, maybe because I lost a few pounds, and I'm pissed. I can't do the
colonoscopy.
Yeah. Now, you know what? I cleared out my shit. I'm playing better pickleball. Also, this weekend, of course, Dave, you know what I feel like? You got kids who are younger. I feel like I'm Jeter, okay? And you are like the A-ball shortstop who's 18 coming up in terms of dance recitals. Oh. You have no idea. So this is the phone call I get yesterday, okay? Yeah, Jimmy, I got to be there Tuesday at 6, but I got the truck. I'm like, excuse me, who is this? What? Tuesday at 6 o'clock, I'll be having a cocktail. What? The dads get involved at these recitals. Now, the recital is Saturday and Sunday. It's Tuesday. Okay?
Oh, I got a recital on Saturday.
Okay. But you're not involved yet.
Nah.
Yeah, you'll see. You'll see. All right.
Not happening. I'm not. Yeah, no.
I will. You know what's so funny? You tell Stella that Uncle Jimmy is going to do this show, even if I have to do it by myself. Till long, all of a sudden, you're like, Jimmy, you're not going to believe what I got involved with. It's going to, first of all, you won't be living in that house. You'll all be living in a small apartment in one of those towns down there because, dude, I have to load a truck up, then bring the prop place back to this place, back to the theater, unload it. And then Sunday, my mother's coming, my sister, it's a whole thing. As soon as the show's over, we have to pack up the theater and we have to be out of there. There's like a time frame. Like we have to be out of there by 5:00. Otherwise it's overtime. Dude. And there's like 7,000 dads at the recital weekend. Guess how many help? 3. It's me, Officer Darby, and some other guy. And it's like, so finally last year, I started getting people's numbers. I got on a text thread, right? And guys like, oh yeah, Jimmy, I'll give you my number, not realizing what I was doing. I was like, see you at 3:30 for the loadout. And they were like, I totally guilted at least 6 guys. Because you know what it is? It's like that stupid thing. If you have 10 guys, you can do it really fast. And the mothers, they know what the pack shit up. So the moms know. The guys know nothing. We're literally like a bunch of Larry Allens just pushing the guys back. The mothers load up the shit. We put it on the truck, bring it to the place, and put it right back. It's in the same spot you left it last year. But you have 3 guys. It takes a long time, and some of the stuff's heavy. And then a lot of the girls who are seniors have boyfriends, all these wrestlers. I noticed there was like 4 monsters after the show that played for Ramsey High and Mahway High and stuff. I immediately went, oh, you're dating her? Oh, that's wonderful. What are you doing after the show? Like, oh, what do you mean? Like, oh, well, guess what? There's 80-pound mats that have to be moved. So we had these guys, and I got to be honest with you. You don't realize when you get older. I was never a weightlifter, obviously. Like, there's these mats that are big. It's a 2-man job. And you not only do you have to lift it up, and they're probably over 100 pounds, you have to go like down steps, down to the left. It's like, but as I was bitching about it, this young 18-year-old looks like a linebacker in high school. Dude, he flipped the shit on his back. He went right out like he was carrying a straw. I was like, all right, we need those guys. But yeah, they get you involved, bro. You'll see. I can't wait. You're going to be like, there will be no. And then if your daughter gets really good, first of all, I know you're a loving dad. You're just going to want to be there. So it's like, there's nothing you can do.
She got the email last week that she's been selected for Kinder Plus.
There we go.
I'm like, so what does that mean? They're like, oh, you thought Saturday at 10 was fun? No. How about Wednesday at 4? And I'm like, okay. Wednesday, I gotta work. Like, what are we talking about here? And then, of course, the next conversation was with me and my wife. And I'm like, you know what? We'll make it work because I can do this and I can do this. And here's me shifting my life around so this girl can be in Kinder Plus. So I can say that my girl is in Kinder Plus.
And then, dude, it's so bad. You'll be in discussions with you'll be in a discussion with a mom going like, you know what? I thought that dance was really good. They had a lot of all of a sudden you're like, wait a minute, I'm critiquing a dance. Or like, I said to a mom once, you know what?
I got it on a tablet. Like you could see here, her leg doesn't kick high enough. I don't really understand.
And here's another thing you'll do. I know you're going to do this. I know what kind of dad you are. You're only going to watch Stella. So for the first 8 times they do the dance, you don't even know what song they're dancing to because all you're doing is watching. You're watching. It's like you're the linebackers coach and you only care about the line. Like someone says,
she's dancing to Surfing USA on Saturday.
Yeah. That's the best. And then they go, no videos, no iPhones. Why? Because for $39.95 on a thumbnail drive, you'll get.
I got the whole. They told me no cell phone. I got the whole dance on my phone. Don't even try that shit. I am a wizard at seeking it.
You'll see what they do to you. The guy will stop. They have a sensor that. First of all, it's the whole thing.
Have you signed up for our streaming service? I'm sorry, what?
I will tell you this though, and I know by the time your daughter gets older, streaming will be like crazy. Probably like in your eyeglasses or something. They do all the competitions. If she's on the competition team, they stream them now. And so if you can't make one, you now the reason has to be like you're either at a funeral of a close family member or your own funeral. You'll have the phone.
Or the Cowboys are down by 4 with 4 minutes to go, and I got split screen, Stella on one side, the Cowboys on the other.
You think I'm kidding? You're gonna be watching a Cowboy game, and by the way, you know what's so funny? I didn't even bring. Wait a minute! Oh, you are so fucked. Your dad. You watch the games with the uncle. Okay, so Stella's dad, uncle, and grandfather watch Cowboy games, dude. Oh my God, you have no chance. No chance. You know why? Stella's like, Grandpa, are you gonna come to the show? Gone. He's gone. He's out.
My dad. I could sense my dad already checking out when the Cowboys got bounced last year to the Packers. He goes, let's just not watch until January because all this shit leading up and like, what is it worth? And I'm like, Dad, you can't be pulling this shit right now,
dude. You're screwed. Oh my God, you're so screwed. And then all of a sudden, your little linebacker is gonna be like, oh, Dad, we got a Pee-wee game over it. First of all, you're not. You won't be able to do this show. Tuesdays at 1 o'clock. There'll be some event going on. Oh, Jimmy, I have to go pick up the 90 pairs of shoulder pads. It's a mess. You are so screwed. I love it. I can't wait. It's like, and I'll be well retired. I'll be like waving to the crowd. They love them here.
They're gonna get a call from me. Hey, Jimmy, can you pick up my daughter at dance?
And then you know what's crazy? My daughter's in like 6 dances, right? Some of the girls are in 15 dances. You know what that means? 15 different costumes, 15 different dude. And you know, it's almost listen, I'm gonna give some advice to dads. It's almost better off if your kid sucks as a dancer. I'm telling you right now, you're gonna be like, Dave, can you do the show? Nah, Jimmy, I got a DoorDash on Tuesday. Why? She just got upgraded to Kinder plus. Yeah. and then your wife, when your wife is like the head, the owner, the GM, when she puts the hammer down, then it's like, hey, I gotta blah blah blah. So you have to take Stella on Saturday. Like, oh, well, a bunch of the guys were going over to the Tiki. God, so bad. And then your son stuff, your wife's not going to care about. It's going to be like, well, you want him to play football, so you got to take him. You have no say. You just do.
It's over.
And it's great. But you know what? It is a big thrill when you do. I don't know. Your daughter's danced already. I was beaming, you know, and everybody's like, and there's always better dancers, but I don't care about those kids. I'm like, you know, I'm just looking at my daughter in this adorable little outfit, you know, and she's bouncing around the stage when she was little. It's a lot of fun. And it's great to see your grandparents to see it, your parent, everybody. Try to get everybody there. I'm trying to get my mother's coming Sunday. It's one of those things where you just want to try to get people there.
And it turns into my stepmom was asking me, she's like, are you guys doing anything after? Are you doing anything after? Yeah. And then I talked to my wife on the drive home from his house the other day. I was like, so like, what do we got to do? Like, what is she asking? And she was like, I don't know, maybe go to a restaurant. I was like, do we got to pick up that whole tab? Can we just have it at the house? I'll power wash on Friday. Let me just get that shit done. Like, please have it at the house and save me a couple bucks.
And then by the way, key is separate cars.
Yeah. Because
you'd be like, Dallas game Sunday night, 8:30, right? It's like, oh, I could do the recital, but all of a sudden, like, hey, the recital's running a little long here. And you're like, you're trying to time out. And then, wait a minute, the recitals are always local, right? But when you get into competitions, good evening, everybody. Welcome to downtown Cherry Hill,
West Virginia. It's like,
right? And then your wife's like, listen, I'll take Stella early. She's got to be there at 8 a.m. in Cherry Hill. I'll take. All of a sudden, you're like, wait a minute, I gotta get it. And then you're like, I'm never gonna get back. And you're gonna have 8 phones. You're gonna have different games on, Ranger games, Knick games, Cowboy games. It's so great. Rite of Passion. All right, that's our show. Last thing, of course, Pine Tar Bar and Grill down in Fork and River. Check this place out. I'm telling you, you're gonna love it. Food's awesome. They got every game, TVs, all the Amazon games. He's got phones wired up to TVs, even though he hates it. My buddy Tommy, go check him out. Fork and River, 121 South Main Street, 609-489-4286. Also, Lisa Ruane, therapist, 201-725-1251. If you're in a jam, you're not feeling right, give her a shout. Also, a shout out to my boy, Artie Lang. I did talk to him this week. Just sending him some love. Hopefully, we'll see Artie soon enough in Beer League. If we can get him on the set, we will. And a shout out to Tom Baldinger, who is working 24 hours a day on Beer League. The world needs to see Dave Sturcio. You, by the way, the over and under how many posts once you get the footage on your Dropbox, you're gonna be like, another day. Eventually, someone's gonna be like, "Hey, Jimmy, Dave Sturcio did that short film called." I'm just gonna be like an aging Brett Gardner. But anyway, Tom, we're just ripping on you, but that's okay. I don't think he listens to the show, but he does. You do his social media. So.
I do.
Hey, if he doesn't listen to the show, he takes a beating. All right, that's it, everybody. I'll see you next week. And also, we got a big guest coming up. Those in the comedy world. This guy, Bobby Collins, he's been around for 100 years. Please go check him out. He's coming on June 18th, I believe. This guy is a badass comedian, been around a long time, and he's going to be a lot of fun. So he'll be on the show on the 18th. And I'm going to try to get a guest. We're due for a guest. I feel like we haven't had a guest in a while, so let's think about that. All right, everybody. Good night, everybody. That'll do it here from downtown, the Omni.